Have terrorists renewed jihad against Russia? Are jihadist groups trying to take advantage of the Ukraine war and strike? All signs do point to that, and that is our top story tonight. The attack that took place in Russia's southernmost republic of Dagestan on Sunday was the second major attack in Russia in 3 months. In 2 cities of Muslim-majority Dagestan, gunmen opened fire at synagogues, churches and the police. Today, the death toll from the attack has risen to 21. It includes mostly police officers and 1 Russian Orthodox priest. All signs point to the fact that it was a coordinated attack. And what does that tell us? It tells us that Russia's Islamist threat has metastasized. In Dagestan, Russia says that the active phase of counter-terror operation has been completed, but the questions remain. Questions like who organized this attack? What was their motive? Nobody knows. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack, but the Russian branch of Islamic State Khorasan's Al-Azam media posted a statement praising what it called brothers from the Caucasus for the attack. What's more, according to Washington-based Institute for the Study of War, the Northern Caucasus branch of Islamic State likely conducted the shootings. Plus, the fact that Christian and Jewish places of worship were attacked raised fears that Russia is facing renewed militant Islamist threat. Nobody would be surprised if it were Islamist extremism. After all, not long ago, Dagestan was a hotbed of extremism that had spilled over from neighboring Chechnya. The Dagestan attack also comes 3 months after gunmen stormed into Moscow's Crocus city hall, killing nearly 150 people. The attack was claimed by the Islamic State. And just over a week ago, a bloody Islamic State-linked prison uprising took place in Rostov, southern Russia. The special forces shot dead 6 inmates who had taken hostages. According to experts who monitor the region, Islamic State and other jihadist groups had been discussing the opportunity that Russia's war in Ukraine presented for them. Experts, in fact, note how these jihadist groups have been writing articles about how Ukraine is the so-called black hole for the West and Russia. What does that mean? Well, it means that while the West and Russia are focusing their attention on the war in Ukraine, jihadists are looking to take advantage of this situation and strike. Now, coming back to Sunday's attack in Dagestan, just to be clear, no party or group has claimed responsibility. The Russian authorities have also not named any group. However, last October, when Hamas attacked Israel, a strange riot broke out in Makhachkala International Airport in Dagestan. Somebody spread a rumor that Jewish settler refugees are coming there. As a result, rioters shouting Allahu Akbar stormed the airport, as per reports, to catch Jewish passengers. On a flight from Tel Aviv, the Russian cops were unable to do anything. Experts are sure that radical Islamism is again raising its head in Russia.
Islamic State, and especially the Khorasan branch, the one in Afghanistan and Pakistan, based there, in their magazines, in English language and in Pashto language, but also recently in the Tajik language one, they have been writing articles, all articles, about how Ukraine is the so-called, as they call it, black hole for the West and Russia. Meaning that while the West and Russia is focusing their attention in Ukraine, jihadists can take advantage of this situation and strike.
Russia is facing Islamist terrorism, and it's very serious. But where exactly does it come from, and who is organizing this? The easiest answer seems to be the way the impoverished region of Dagestan is run. You see, Dagestan lies close to Chechnya, which has a history of violence. It also, by the way, has a majority Muslim region, where Moscow has fought 2 wars with separatists after the 1991 collapse of the Soviet Union.
что такое разрушение. Когда я первый раз брал в руки автомат, мне не было и 14.
The separatists were fighting for independence, but Russia described it as terrorism and responded with fury. It left much of the capital, Grozny, in ruins. Vladimir Putin then installed the feared warlord Ramzan Kadyrov in Chechnya. Kadyrov has since ruled Chechnya with an iron fist. Meanwhile, Dagestan, following the collapse of the USSR in 1991, declared itself a republic within the Russian Federation. It maintained its autonomous status, but did not want sovereignty for itself. And things came to a head in 1999, when the Islamic International Peacekeeping Brigade, which was a Chechen Islamist group, invaded Dagestan. Their aim basically was to create an independent Islamic State of Dagestan. Russia retaliated and eventually invaded neighboring Chechnya. In a 6-month-long military offensive, Islamist groups led an armed insurgency against Russia for about a decade until 2017. According to Human Rights Watch, Russia's brutal suppression and crackdown on Salafi Muslims saw civilians displaced and their property destroyed. Experts say that history is repeating itself, with the uptick in violence exposing the long simmering tensions in Russia. After Sunday's attacks, President Putin expressed his deep condolences, but the Kremlin has not commented on who was to blame or why authorities failed to stop them. When asked by a reporter, the Kremlin played down fears of any return to late 1990s and early 2000s. Spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said that Russia is different now. He said that the Russian society is absolutely consolidated. He said that such criminal terrorist manifestations are not supported by society, either in Russia itself or in Dagestan, but try as one might to deny it. The Kremlin appears to have taken its eye off the ball. Of course, no country is immune to terrorism. But just a few days ago, the Turkish government reportedly helped Russia disrupt a cell which intended to carry out another attack in Moscow. Clearly, something is up. Russia is facing jihad from a new generation of extremists, it seems. Of course, the Kremlin does not want to admit this, at least publicly, while it fights a war in Ukraine. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.